Whew. I'm good. How are you guys doing? Good. I don't know. We're out. Let's go. Let's jump into it. Who's got me?
What do you guys like about MJ Stewart, what he brings to the table? He's obviously been with you guys for a couple of years now.
Yeah, veteran guy. Has played a lot of positions throughout his career. Has actually played outside in college, played some nickel, played some safety. So we like guys like that. Just a kid that's always been on the details of what we're asking him to do. Obviously, he's had a big role in special teams. So from a run, hit, tackle, he's had a lot of experience in open space, doing those things. So, but just been a kid that's been really working for us, and I was always kind of in the right spot. So there's a lot of value in that for sure. Yeah, I mean, all of our linebackers, again, sort of similar to that question. I mean, we ask all our positions to do a lot of different things, and so the more versatile you are and adaptable you are, it just helps how we can call things and matchups and those sort of things. So I would put a lot more guys in that category in that room. So, you guys that have been here from a linebacker spot, we like to cross-train guys there as well and play Mike and Will and Sam and nickel, Will, and those sort of things. So really feel like a lot of those guys in that room have done a good job of mastering multiple spots, and it helps us just how we deploy them.
No Jimmy Ward, no C.J. Johnson right now, no rookie Jay. Could you see a scenario where Jalen Petrie would be used in the safety position later on?
I could see lots of scenarios. I mean, I think right now we're just trying to get a lot of guys work and in different spots, and some of those injuries are short term and some are longer term. So we just sort of try to get them ready to play this week, and as the season gets closer, we'll figure out how to deploy our guys best. Jalen's had history at a lot of spots as well. Again, another guy that's played multiple roles for us. So I think we just, again, part of what we're doing in camp is really trying to cross-train a lot of people, and injuries happen, and so obviously always looking ahead to, hey, if something happens at one spot, how do we fill that in, or who's the next guy up? So playing lots of scenarios, Sarge.
It seems like you guys have gained more confidence in Rusty's. What has he kind of done for you guys to start to kind of believe in him more?
Yeah, man, I would say Russ probably signifies just the growth mindset that we really like here, man. I mean, from when we got him towards last year, but I would say just full process from literally day one back from the spring. His growth from just a communication and grasping, and I don't want to say it like this, but I feel like when he started, again, maybe whether it was confidence or whatever, a little bit more in the background, but really, especially when he came back from the summer and started training camp, just the urgency to communicate and be honest thing, and the confidence in it. Sometimes if you're not sure of a call or what you're doing, then it's kind of quiet. But man, to see his growth of the communication level, that he's just I feel like his confidence is growing from tied into his knowledge of what we're doing and what we're asking him to do. So I feel like Russ is a really cool example of just a full process from coming back in the spring and growing, getting better every day. And now I think his confidence in what he's doing in his role is showing, and now that leads to more communication, and then he's louder and he's more become a part of it, and it just kind of builds and builds. So I really think Russ has been a guy that's just gotten better every day, and it's sort of showing the fruits of those labors, man.
When you talk about EJ Speed, I know you talked about cross-training everybody.
Mm-hmm.
What he adds to your team?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, again, probably a prototype from a physical skill set of what we look for in Will linebacker. He's long, he's fast, he's physical. He showed his physicality in the game last Saturday. So again, another guy that just growing into the techniques and the responsibilities that we're asking him to play, and did a really, really good job in the game. Just being on his details of what we're asking him to do. And when you do that, your skill set, your physical tools can show. So really, again, another guy the earlier question, just length, speed, physicality. Those would probably be the top three traits we're looking for in linebackers. So as he's putting it all together and, again, growing in the system, I think those abilities are starting to shine through. Oh, man, Jay, a lot of us on staff have been with Jay for a while. So, again, another guy that's played a lot of positions. He started at corner when I was with him in Philly. Then we moved him to safety. He's played nickel. So, again, just another veteran guy, really smart, kind of has always been a in throughout his career been a real headsy player around the ball, and had spent some time with the Jets last year in a similar system, so just was able to really pick things up pretty quickly from a language standpoint. So again, once a lot of these guys, just once you have a grasp of the communication in the system, the techniques we're asking you to play, then you can go play ball. So he's picked up things really quickly from our history with him together and history in the system, and excited to see him go play.
And then to follow up on that, when you have guys playing multiple roles at this point preseason, getting ready for the second preseason game, what are you keying in on and what do you want to see from these players who are maybe getting those 2s and 3s reps to put themselves apart?
Yeah, I mean, same thing, really. Again, especially guys that we're asking to play multiple positions, right? Like, can you handle that? A lot of times, nothing's set in stone at this point, but if you are a backup player in the league, like, you have to be a backup at multiple spots, and you can't just be a one-position player. So can you handle those roles, right, as we get thrust into a game, whenever that may be, whether it's this Saturday or in December? Like, can you handle that? Can you be the third safety in the backup nickel? Can you be a corner nickel? Can you be a Sam and a Mike? Can you play this? So as we put you in these positions in the game, like, how much can you handle? And when the lights come on and things are going a little bit faster, like, can you play those roles? So I think all positions across the board, like, that's what we're looking for. Can you handle the coaching we're giving you, and can you execute the techniques and the things we're asking you to do when it matters?
After facing this or
Couple more, guys.
what's the value for your frontline players of facing an opponent when you already know what these guys can do? What's the value of the practice against the Panthers? What's the value of the game against the Panthers if your frontline guys see some action?
Yeah, the same for everything. I mean, I think, like, you're just going against the same scheme in camp and the same players. A lot of times, like, your matchup across the ball is the same or roughly. So between, maybe you're up front, you're playing an offensive lineman that has a little different set or blocks a little differently. And so how are you going to respond to that? Obviously, again, schematically, it's going to be a little different structure from what we're used to. So there's going to have to be some different checks and different calls, or we're seeing some different route patterns. So I think all those things, like, that's how the season's going to go, right? You come into a week, and each opponent's different, and your challenges and your matchups are different every week. And so that's, to me, we get a chance to see that in action.
Tim had an interesting.
Tim.
Tim said
Okay, that's cool.
He had an interesting analogy when describing Swarm, that it's like a migraine headache. You can't get rid of. But I wanted to ask you, like, when it comes to the defense, what are y'all trying to accomplish in trying to contain a bottom of offense? Like, how would you describe that?
I got to unpack that one. I'm gonna pass on the Tim Settle part on that, if that's okay. If that's fair. Yeah, I think, like, look, what we preach is, and I think I've said this before, but just as a defense, right, you're naturally a reactionary position, right? You have to wait for the offense to put their personnel out there. You have to wait for the formation, and we have to make checks based on what we're seeing, what we're getting, right? So our swarm mentality and the way we play and what we talk about as an attack style front is we try to flip that script a little bit. And so we try to be on the front foot and make people have to respond to how we play. And so I think that's what ties into the swarm, besides just our fronts and our techniques, but just in the mindset of, like, just the overwhelming attack mentality. Like, now that puts offenses a little bit on the defensive. So that's kind of how we try to flip that. So I think from a schematic standpoint, when we talk that, like, again, we want our tape to look a certain way, and for offenses that are preparing for us to understand how we play and to have to react to how we play, not necessarily always we're reacting to what an offense does.
All set? Thanks, Bert.
All right, guys, thank you. Yep.
Oh, seniority. How's it going?
Coach said you're going to call the game from the sidelines after the move, game one.
Yep.
Are you leaning either way? What are the pros and cons to each style?
Yeah. Well, I've done both. As a position coach, as a non-coordinator, obviously, the last 8 I've been on the field. So. Starting back, when I was coaching on defense, most of my time was probably split, but I think this is the time to do it. I think there's advantages, to both, and I think this is the time to, to experiment and get a flow for it, and the communication through the staff and everything else. So I'm going to do it this week and make an assessment after that. I'm comfortable in either situation. Just want to see what works best for us this year.
Are you leaning either
I'm going into it with an open mind, and I'm going to see how this week goes. Yeah.
You were evaluating tape coming into this job. What did you see? What did you see on tape that you figured out that you could use or that would help backup quarterback Davis Mills and wide receiver John Mechie? Those two seem to be having such a good camp, and they seem to be comfortable in your offense.
Yeah, well, I mean, it all honestly starts with setting a foundation. They both pour a lot into it. They both love football. So I think dating back to the spring, they did a good job of staying ahead of everything and really keeping up to speed. And, they have a lot of different experiences, and they've played in different systems. And a lot of times that can actually be an asset to those guys. And they've just done a really good job of catching on. They're both, hardworking, good dudes, and they care about doing a good job, and they're prepared. So that really is a testament to them.
After facing the defense every day, now you guys got that first preseason game in the books. Now joining practice tomorrow.
Yep.
What's that transition like going from the offense that's going from facing your own defense to now different defense?
Well, I think it just depends on who you're seeing, right? I mean, there's different front structures, there's different coverage families. So each defense, is in and of itself its own identity. And so, getting a chance to you go against our defense or any defense, in training camp in that time of the year, you get used to seeing the things that they do, and then you get a change of pace when you see somebody that does something different. So I think it's advantageous because it's going to prepare us for the longevity of the season, and it's a good thing. Both getting our work against our guys, and then obviously whoever we play here in joint practices and in the preseason.
How close is this offense to setting who they want as the offensive line?
Yeah, I think we're working towards that every day. I think it's a good problem to have in the sense that it's a highly competitive group, and they've shown progress across the board. So Cole and Zach have done an outstanding job with those guys. The players have worked their asses off, and I think that it's a testament to them. So we're going to continue to see who the 5 most consistent guys are, and when we see a clear separation in that, we'll make a decision on that at the appropriate time.
I know you've been with Jerry for a while. What's been his imprint, or how has he helped you, and what's been his imprint on CJ Stroud?
Yeah, first of all, Jerry Shaplinsky is he's a great friend. He's a great man. He's an outstanding football coach. I've been fortunate to be at 3 different places with him. He's steady. He's consistent in his approach. He's a very, very an excellent teacher of the game. And I think just his consistency, who he is every single day, rubs off on all of us, especially quarterbacks, but all of us as a staff. And I'm very thankful and grateful to have a man like him to help us here this year.
I think Christian Kirk mentioned to us he's seen the physicality of the offensive line really
Yep.
grow throughout camp. How have you seen that progress, and how's that going to open up the running game for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all starts up front, and I've said that. It's not cliche. It's what I believe in. I think you got to be physical. You have to establish the line of scrimmage, and that's in the run game. That's being coordinated in protections. That's not having free runners at the quarterback. That's knowing where we're working to. That's getting a hat on a hat in the run game, whether that's zone schemes or gap double teams. And I think as long as you can start there and you're tough and physical, you can stay on schedule and you can move forward. And not to oversimplify things, but if you do it the other way, like I don't believe that that's the right way to go about things. So we're far from where we need to be, but we're making progress and we're seeing improvement, and we just have to keep continuing to do that every single day here.
When you got your hands on Higgins and Noel first rookie minicamp months ago, is there a thing or two that stands out most that's different between then and where they are right now?
I mean, they've brought the same approach from day one. They've got great pedigree. They come from a great program with Matt Campbell at Iowa State. They love the game. They work hard. They're versatile. Are they the same exact player? No, they're not. No player really is, but they've just continued to get better. And the more experience they have in time on task with the fundamentals, the route tree, the blocking mechanics, the techniques, the better they've just continuously got. So I've been very pleased with them. The whole unit in general has gotten better, but they've done a really good job for first-year guys coming in here and competing.
Along those same lines, what was your impressions of Ariante's first preseason game, and what do you hope that he continues to do over these next joint practice and game?
Yeah, I think he competed. I thought he was tough. He anchored. He played hard. He finished, and we just need to continue to see that, and continuing to play, with good fundamentals and technique consistently. Especially when you get tired, you're building. You're starting to try to get calloused in these parts of training camp where you're, building stamina as you go, not just physically, but competitive stamina mentally. And I think he's done a good job of that. I mean, he loves football and he works. So we just got to keep going at that trajectory and keep pushing him. And he wants to be coached. And And again, Cole and Zach do a really good job with those guys.
Finally got Damian Pierce on the field. What's the expectation for him after the time that he did miss another mental reps, but
Yep.
him been on the field? What's the expectation?
Yeah, the expectation is just to be the best version of himself. He's a physical, violent runner on contact. I've had an appreciation for him since he came out of college. So, not to press, not to do anything outside of just being the best that you can be, taking care of the football, pressing your tracks, knowing who you have in blitz pickup, and starting from there. Because, he's shown what he can do when he gets opportunities to go out there and compete. So I'm excited to get him back out there.
For you in that preseason game as you go through preseason, what's kind of like the balance of trying to show your best plays as your first time play call and
Yep.
wanting to get just comfortable with that versus not trying to show too much as you get ready for week one, which is kind of that balance?
I think it starts with, first of all, how do we give our guys an opportunity to go out and compete from down after down, okay? And so schematically, giving ourselves a chance. I want to give our guys an opportunity to go out there and compete based on the front variations that we have, the coverages that we're expecting to see. And then I think the balance is, allowing them to have not too much where we can evaluate the fundamentals to evaluate each player on this team to give ourselves the best chance to make a clean evaluation. So there is a balancing act there, but I think it starts with the fundamentals and giving them an opportunity to compete, against whoever we're going up against.
Two more, Greg and Aaron.
You've talked, I know that you understood that Nico Collins was a special type talent. When you
Yep.
arrived. What have you seen from him in camp? He looks like he really wants to go out and compete against the defense.
Yep.
And when him and Kamara go head to head, that seems like one of the great battles of
He-
the training camp.
Yeah, it's iron sharpening iron, like Coach always talks about. He's got a joy about him. He always has a smile on his face. He loves to compete. I really enjoy being around him. I'm excited every single day we hit the field with them. So it's been fun. And it's been fun watching those guys compete, the give and take on both sides of the ball, and that's what makes you better. I love Nico.
Here in the booth, there's obviously a great big picture view of it, but down on the field, you have a little easier time maybe communicating and seeing things at field level. What do you like about each one and this game, D'Amico said you'll be on the field?
Yeah, a couple different things. I think in the booth, there's a little bit more peace and serenity. I get to lay out some stuff. I got some room to write, some things down, and obviously I get a bird's eye view. We have great, communication on the headsets. I thought that went well with the staff, so I have all the faith in the world of everybody that's on the headset. When you talk about what's the advantage of being down, I've been down, basically the vast majority of my career in the National Football League. So seeing it from that perspective is, I would say that's what I'm most recently been used to. But you also get to engage and see guys and look them in the eyes and get an opportunity to reset things and talk and communicate and get that, one-on-one communication with them. So I think there are two different perspectives. Both, are good. So we're going to see, how it goes, and this is the time to do it.
When you're down on the field, with that view, how much different is the view? Obviously, you just kind of see everything. When you're on the sideline, you can kind of see things at an angle. So
Yep.
what's kind of like the challenges at seeing things?
Again, you're seeing everything from top down in the booth. On the sideline, I will back up a little bit and try to stay behind some things, obviously. And then you rely on, obviously, using, tips and tells and how you see coverages live, front structures, but then you go back and you obviously are always using the pictures and stuff that we have access to, too. So,
Thanks, Joel.
yep, thank you guys. Have a good day.
Start with I think something Nick, Coach Cayley just talked about was you guys had been asking a couple of questions about whether it was the communication piece or whatever, and he just said something that kind of sparked. It was like, I have full faith in everybody in the staff to get the communication, no matter what it looks like, and it's ever evolving, and they're sorting through. Like, to me, I think that is the gist of the preseason. Like, I am very happy, taking it to special teams, I'm very happy with whether it was Minnesota or practice this week, yesterday, today, or the joint for tomorrow. We've established some things that matter. We've got some really good communication pieces. We've got some really good physicality. Is it in full form? Is our execution, call it mid-season, end-of-season form, where you want to really start, answering every single bell that comes your way? Probably not there yet. Nobody is across the league, but the positivity on it and where we're at as a special teams unit, I think that's been something that's really excited me, especially with working with new players, new guys for this year that are going to be in key roles for us. Really excited with the kind of the build that we've got to this point. Some things that we've started to stack days on that are really in our bag where we're saying, like, yeah, that's definitely going to be a piece or a cornerstone of us for the kicking game. And then we still need to turn up the execution and those things, but we're not quite there yet. I'm excited to get there, but just that's resonated with me amongst the staff, amongst the players, the coach of the players, and what the final product looks like week 1. So just excited with where we're at. Love the physical piece, and if there's a few, I'll take some questions.
Frank, that was Austin Franklin's first game in NFL snapping. How did you feel about the operation, just kind of how it handles the nerves of the first?
Did you guys catch it? Did anybody catch it? Nobody caught the first one? So like nerdy specialist stuff, but super cool for him. Do you remember what happened on the P8 on the field goal was or on the touchdown, from Barrios, was they threw a flag, was there a penalty, they ended up picking it up. So we put the ball down, we kick it, and we're good, but they threw in a quarterback ball, we threw in the kicking ball. The ref goes, no, there's a penalty, throws it back out. His first ever NFL snap and kick on the season was with a QB ball. So, they are different. There's a whole process that goes into it. So proud of him. I thought he had a really nice outing. I thought he's done a good job to this point. He knows that as a rookie snapper, he will be, quote unquote, attacked, and they'll try to challenge him. I thought he did a great job in his first outing. Excited with where he is, and we'll see what he can continue to grow going forward.
How much of what he does has been taught and learned through experience, and how much of it's just innate prowess to be a good special teamer?
Yeah, I think the second part is for anybody to be good, you're going to have some of that. You're going to have want to do the dirty work or the things that don't, quote unquote, get you the glory. But it's helped him stick around for 9 years in the league, whatever it is. And if you watch the Tampa Bay tape, he was making those same knifing tackles on kickoff that he's making for us in the past few years and going to make for us this year. So there is an element of just wanting to and putting real time into a special teams fundamental or technique and then stacking those with experience. Like that's the only, and that's why he's one of the best special teams running backs in the league. So very fortunate to learn from him, very fortunate that he's here picking up that same role. And to me, I think he's become a hell of an offensive player. That's just, from my special teams point of view, because he's stuck around long enough to practice offense more and more and get reps. And then watch last year, he's, a third down, but he's done a great job. Everybody should have that mindset, but it starts with the want to.
I saw some guys, they took on special teams being effort, hustle, toughness. They got blocked, including Damon Arnett on one play, but he got up, he got a piece of the tackle. What did you see from him on the coverage aspect of it?
Yeah, there's an element where, we want guys that can cover the earth and run, man. We definitely want that, but you gotta be high effort. So for us, we're going to practice when everybody's tagging off on the ball, even if you're on the backside gunner and the ball's all the way over here. So hopefully that is ingrained where the choice isn't to just be stuck on a block over here. The only choice that you have is you go and you finish near or around the ball. I think that's how good things end up happening your way, and that's the training mechanics of our special teams unit. So long, fast, athletic guy that has not done a lot of special teams. Well, what's the basics? We're playing hard, get your lever point, and let's go. And he probably has a lot more in his body than other people we're gifted with. So excited with him being here and getting a chance to see what he can really do.
How difficult is your evaluation system this year, especially with so many groups having so many players and there's such an overflow in different position groups? And now they're coming over and they're playing a lot of special teams. How much more difficult does that make it for you?
Yeah, and distribution of opportunity, me giving them reps is really important. Okay, who's going to be the last tight end, receiver, running back, linebacker, safety? Who's going to be those last 2 or 3 players that are in consideration to make the job, to win that job? And all right, well, we've got to give evaluations. Sometimes it's not perfectly even on that rep distribution, and it's just the old saying, you got to take advantage of your opportunities. So in this joint practice, we're going to light them up and see what we can go with. And when we get to the game, even if you repped in practice, you got to rep and do it again and show us you can do it on repeat and finish in a dominating position. And then, hey, maybe I didn't get as many reps in the practice, but the lights are on Saturday, like I got to go earn that rep back for the following week. Like it is a very real thing where it's a few and far between rep, but when it's your turn, like there's no do-overs. So for special teams, that evaluation, it's going to be on a little amount of information and who can capitalize on repeat when they did get, even if it's 3 reps on that task for the whole preseason. And then we got to say, hey, yeah, he can project it. Hey, he can do that on repeat. Times 17 games over for the remainder of the season. Yeah, starts with the football. Can't make a play until it's in your hands. He's definitely done a great job of understanding what these kicks are going to be, especially on the kickoff. Watch the league from the last preseason. Like, they're going to be in that landing zone, more difficult to handle. So he's done a really good job of fielding the ball. He's a consummate professional. We have great conversations. Man, fortunate to have him on the roster and see where he's going to fit in on both phases. But we're cross-training a bunch of guys, and he's done a great job to this point.
For the fans just now paying attention to football, could you explain the kickoff rules and the kind of the changes to them in recent years?
For the fan, all right, let me dial that audience in. Run and hit, baby. Run and hit. Let's go. Okay. So there, just with the NFL taking care of players, we want to take speed and space out of the game, so there's less collisions, less impact. So by us shrinking down the starting formation, this sounds like I'm interviewing for Google, where you got to get them there's tricky ones, but I'll do my best. When we shrink down the formation, you've relaxed the sprint part of it, and you've lessened the collision part of it for the blockers and the coverage team right there. For us, it's become more of a tricky placement. So now the kickoffs being placed in the right position, as well as the returner getting over there and fielding it cleanly, are the new game within the game. So can the kicker game the returner, and the returner's trying to predict it. And then with the restrictions of our alignments, so you have to have 2 players outside of the numbers on a kickoff team, 2 players between the numbers and the hash, 2 in the middle, 2 and 2. So that with that distribution, you now have rules in how you can start your alignment. And then to get rid of that running start, that build up, and that car crash, now you can't leave until the ball hits the ground or is touched. So I think that overall the NFL has done a good job of adapting to the rules, and players are starting to have a feel and understanding of, doesn't matter what the rule is, it's put in place. We're playing within that confines of that structure, and I think we're at a good place, launching point to that fact as it starts right now. And then just overall on the preseason, it's going to be a little more vanilla and a little more basic before you start seeing the kind of the trickery there. So for us, it's about, can you win your one-on-ones both on coverage and in the blocking phase right there.
Now the Panthers showed an interesting kick in preseason where they let it bounce a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be seeing more of that this season?
Yeah, we had one that we got onto the ground in the Minnesota game, and then we had one against us that Daniel Jackson fielded. And what you could see from that is, like, we talked about Barrios handling the kick. Like, the ball was, call it, turning to his right, and it doesn't bounce right forward into him. It bounced away from him. So being able to circle that ball and play shortstop quick off the bounce, or really know when you can attack it out of the air and catch it on the fly and nullify that movement from the ball being kicked. Panthers had Matthew Wright. He had a really nice kick, getting that ball sidewinding onto the ground, and the Cleveland kid was having to field that there. So for us, we've got to know that. We've got to know what kicker is. That's us studying our matchup.
And the players can move once it hits the ground.
Once it hits the ground. If it touches the returner or hits the ground, that's when everybody can start. Yep. So for us, how fast can we load and take off, or get to our drops, and can our returner catch it as clean moving forward as possible? So we're excited to get our guys some cross-training on that in the joint practice and continuing to build where we're at with it. So if that's anybody else, good? Sure. Oh, yeah. Come on. We want a kicking ball like a ping pong ball. So in the sense that we'll scrub it down legally. There's rules within how the NFL distributes the kicking balls that you're allowed to break down and wear down for the games, and then you check them in before the game starts with the officials for pressure and surface, etc. You basically want the kicking surface to be as smooth as possible. they're going to be they feel like they have less grip than a QB ball. There's other QB, they're like darker brown versus like more lighter or red you would see for a K ball. We want, basically, you want that thing to mimic like a soccer ball. It's nice, as smooth a surface as you can. That way you don't get any grip on your foot and things like that. So there's a process the NFL has. You get 3 K balls a game that can be inserted at any time from the person working the ball crew right there in game. And let's say you lose one. Let's say one of the chips gets knocked out. Then that ball is disqualified for the game. So now you're down to 2. All kinds of, won't go into the myriad of things that could happen there, but it's important to have a really good kicking surface on your foot. And just a nice little shout out to Mike Redmond, who is our equipment manager that prepares all those. He's the best in the league. If you're another coach around the league and you got a really good guy, come find me and I'll debate you. Like, Mike is the best. We're a better special teams unit because of Mike Redmond. Cool. See you guys. Thanks.